how do you define a family business? What makes it a family business? It depends on who you ask. There's no universal answer to this. The way I define a family business is I just ask one simple question. Do you consider yourself a family business? And if the person says yes, they're a family business. So you could look at a company like Walmart. It's a public company. Stock is traded in the market, controlled heavily through the Walton family. Is that a family business? By my definition, I would say it's a family-controlled business. When I think of a small company, it's not small, it's got a couple hundred employees, but a company like New England Coffee, it's completely owned by one family. It's a family-controlled, family-owned business. When you think of Ford, it's again publicly owned, family-controlled to some degree. Starts to get a little gray. But typically you would say a family business is multiple family members. And then some people will start to say multiple generations. So if it's just a husband and wife, they won't really call it a family business unless the kids are involved. If they're husband and wife working together and they say they're a family business, in my book, they're a family business. So I'd like to ask a few questions to you guys to see what you think. Are family businesses different than other businesses? Oh, we've got one shaking their head no, and I think you were shaking your head yes. We can't even get an agreement on the definition. We're not going to get an agreement here. Why are they not different than other businesses? So there's huge advantages with trust, but then there's other issues that weigh that back and forth. So I'll be honest, I struggle with this question myself all the time. And I always come up with, well, business is business. And then I think of all the things that affect a family business that do not affect another business, that don't affect other types of business. So it kind of leads me to the next question. Who are the other types then? A family business, and what's the other type of business? There's a lot of gray area. And you know, from my perspective, I've heard so many partners that will say, well, I've known this person for 20, 25 years.
That's almost family.
You can't tell me that they're not like a brother or sister to me. Everything is the same. So they start to say, every issue that affects a family business affects us. So clearly things are different. There's no doubt in my mind. Who said business is business? But business is business.
Structure-wise, it's different, but the competing area is the same.
Okay, I agree. So here's a couple of ways I'll throw out to start to see if we can get any more. I'm always looking for new ones, so if you can think of some, please help me out here. I put down corporation because I guess when I think of, and it does come back to growth rate, the expectation that it's going to be large. So if we look at a corporation versus a family business, the first thing that would make a difference between the two is ownership. It's public versus private. Is that an issue for us or for a business? Why do we care about that? So one of the issues that comes up is expectations. I heard the word expectations. I heard the word overthrow. Love that. It's like, let's get right down to it. Can you are you in a family business?
Yes.
Would you ever overthrow dad or mom? No, never.
I mean, if I knew it was good for me, no. Or
Yeah.
if I wanted to go home, yeah.
So one of the points was the ability to raise money. That's a big one. So there is a difference. Sort of the expectations of what we're going to do with the business, that's a difference. And I think overthrow is a legitimate concept. The shareholders could toss you out.
The accountability.
Accountability. Well, let's put that one down, accountability. So accountability, there's differences in here, good and bad. One of the good things about not going out, I'll throw a strength out here of the family business. one of the weaknesses is you can't go to the public markets, the equity markets, to raise money. One of the advantages that a family business has that counters that is that a corporation can't go to the informal markets and raise money. What are the people familiar with the concept of informal capital markets? Who's not familiar with that? Can you say mom and dad? You go to your family members and you borrow money. And why would your family members lend you money? Trust, guilt, obligation. We don't care why. All we know is we get it for whatever reason. GM is having a problem right now. Where can they not get money? Well, they're praying that the government gives them money, but they can't go to the capital markets. They're not going to give them money. Now, if they were a small company, they might be able to ask their friends and family for some money to get through. So there's clearly some advantages and disadvantages here on both sides. And you can see small companies that are privately held with shareholders, and they'll have battles on issues as far as ownership and shares and return that's coming back to them. So there's that issue as well. So let's go to the next one, governance. What is governance? What's that?
Board of directors, people who manage.
Yeah, I personally, honestly struggle with the word governance. I hear so many consultants throwing this word around there lately that I think it's just used to obfuscate management. You're laughing?
Yeah, I met people who do that. You just throw words around to try to appear like they're saying something when they're really not saying anything.
Yeah, so I put it up there reluctantly. But I balance it off. It's really, how do you manage and control the company? And a corporation does it through a board of directors. A family business does it how? How does a family business control their business? Whatever they want to do. Whatever I want to do. It's a pretty powerful motivation to starting a business. It's whatever I want to do. And that's a great, I consider that an asset in a business. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to do it. This is the way I'm going to do it. And if you don't like it, yeah, I don't care. That's a whole lot more fun, and from my perspective, than doing what the board of directors says to do. So again, another asset and maybe a disadvantage. Why would a cavalier attitude of my way or the highway be a disadvantage? So you might look at it as, well, you know, they hired me, but they don't really pay attention to my input. I give them great ideas and then dismissed. So there's a lot of disadvantages there that people might come in and say, we're not looking forward to working for a company like that. We're not appreciated. We're not listened to. We don't have any opportunity to grow with the business. And if the person's not controlling it well, it might not be, and I'll use the word again, professionally run. It could be problems.